Looking at the prophet Job in the scriptures, we know for a fact that he was an Israelite and not an Edomite. This is going to be a response to the lesson that Elder Malcolm did here. The title of his lesson. This is it right here, Salakia. It's entitled, Job was not an E. Right? Salakia. It's entitled, Job was not an E, and Israel knew not who they were for generations. And every so often this demon pops up, the Job, these so-called Christians and other people, a lot of times Israelites, try to call Job an Edomite because you're seeking salvation for a people that has no salvation. If they think if they can prove Job or some other man of the Lord was an Edomite, that means they can be saved, which they cannot. When you look into the scriptures and you know what to read, we're going to start here from James chapter 5, verse 10. We can tell you without a doubt that we see in the Bible in other ways that Job was not an Edomite. This is James 5, verse 10. It says, take my brethren, right? Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Right? The subject is my brethren, the prophets. Verse 11, behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job. Now, after he said, take my brethren, the prophets, for examples of suffering and affliction, he mentions a couple of brethren right here. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job. That's one brother. And have seen the end of the Lord. Yahweh Shai, that's another brother. That the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy, right? Let's go back again. Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. If you go and you look up this word brethren, and of course, a lot of these definitions, like we tell guys, the blue letter does go off. You can look up these definitions, and you got guys that go and they get their breakdowns from the blue letter. You can't get a breakdown from the blue letter, man. It's an aid. It can help you, but they do go off because these are adds things, as you're going to see.
Strong's G80, Adelphos. Adelphos.
Adelphos, which looks like Adelphos, right, for the word brethren. Here it says brethren, brother, brothers, way, right? If you go here in this Vine's expository dictionary, it said brother, brethren, brotherhood, brotherly denotes a brother or near kinsman. Woo! If you're a kinsman, you're related, right? Meaning you're from the same people. A brother or near kinsman. In the plural, a community based on identity of origin or life. And they're going to put their own little stuff in here. It says, it is used of male children of the same parents, male descendants of the same parents, male children of the same mother, Salakia, male children of the same mother, people of the same nationality, Acts 3:17, verse 22, Romans 9:3, Acts 2:29, right? They give you some. It says any man or a neighbor, which is, now they're just going off. Now have mankind, see? But really, and then even at the bottom it says believers. and see, so that show you that Esau's going off. Really, this is what it is. A brother or near kinsman, right? A community based on identity of origin or life. And we're going to prove that. 4, people of the same nationality. That's what it is. People of the same nationality. Brethren. Let's get out of that. When you go down here, it says a brother whether born of the same two parents or owner of the same father or mother, having the same national ancestor, belonging to the same people or countrymen. Then they start going off. Any fellow or man. Right? How can we find out? See here, they got brethren in Christ. See, that shows you that they going off, man. We know what it means. Brethren. And you can find out further Take my brethren, the prophets. How do we know who James refers to as his brethren? You need to go no further than James 1, chapter 1. Now, he mentioned Job as a brother. James 1 and 1, James, a servant of the Most High, and of the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Same brethren. 12 tribes scattered abroad, brethren, right? Let's go back to James 5, because that's who the book is to. So when he mentions here, take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, who was one of the brethren, and have seen the end of the Lord, who was one of the brethren, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. That's without a doubt. If you go to this chapter, Ezekiel 14, go to verse 13, it says, Son of man, excuse me, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out mine hand upon it, and will break the staff of bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Now Ezekiel is about to talk about some Israelites. He said, though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord power. Who was Ezekiel sent to? Let's go back to Ezekiel chapter 3. Let's go there real quick and we'll come right back. Ezekiel 3 and 17. Ezekiel 3:17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. Who is Ezekiel going to? He went to the Israelites. He was an Israelite. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. So why in the hell would Ezekiel be preaching to the Israelites and telling them about a damn Edomite? He's not. Though these three men, Ezekiel 14:14, Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord power. Now I know somebody's going to say, well, Noah wasn't the Israelite. He wasn't being called the Israelite back then. But Noah was of the chosen seed. He was of the chosen lineage. And you go down from Noah, and then you have who? Who came forth from Noah? Shem. And out of Shem's seed came Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. Let's go to it real quick. This is Esdras, 2nd Esdras, chapter 3. It's going to break it down to you. 2nd Esdras, chapter 3. It starts out talking about Adam first, right here, in verse 5. Then here in verse 11, we'll start at 10. It says, and it came to pass, in every of them that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these. Nevertheless, one of them who leftest, nevertheless, one of them thou leftest, namely Noah, with his household, of whom came all righteous men. Who were the righteous men that came forth from Noah? The righteous seed was who? Abraham first. As it's going to go and break it down to you. Let's just keep on going. And it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply and had gotten them many children and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them whose name was Abraham. So it went from Noah to Abraham. Noah to Shem, and out of Shem, generations later came Abraham, right? Whose name was Abraham. Him thou lovest, and unto him thou showest, and to him only thou showest thy will, and made an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. Which seed? Let's go over here real quick. We'll hold that. Let's open up another window real quick. Which seed out of Abraham? Because these Christians love to pop up talking about Abraham. Romans 9 and 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. You see it? So Isaac is the chosen. Back in 2nd Esdras, 3 and 11. Nevertheless, one of them thou lovest, namely Noah with his household, of whom came all righteous men. And it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply, and had gotten them many children, and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham. And him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showedest thy will, and made an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. And Isaac shall thy seed be called, right? And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac that also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. Which one of them was the chosen? As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude. So it went from Noah to Shem, and out of Shem came forth Abraham, right? Later on, and then Isaac, and then Jacob. That's how it happened. The chosen, and you had other chosen men there too, but we skipped through to those men. Now when you go back to Ezekiel 14. Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out mine hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord power. So Job was known as a righteous man, and he's known as a brother. And Ezekiel talked about him to the other Israelites, and Ezekiel was only sent to the Israelites. If I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it so that it be desolate, that no man may pass through because of the beasts, though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord power, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters. They only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate. See, so the Lord is saying here that Noah, Daniel, and Job are the elect. They're of the elect. Or if I bring a sword upon that land, if I bring a sword upon that land and say, sword, go through the land, so that I cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord power, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, but they only shall be delivered themselves. Or we know that the elect is going to be delivered, not all Israel. Or if I send a pestilence into that land and pour out my fury upon it in blood, to cut off from it man and beast, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, saith the Lord power, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness. See, so they're the elect. For thus saith the Lord, or the chosen, if you want to say chosen. For thus saith the Lord power, how much more when I send my foursore judgments upon Jerusalem? And y'all gotta excuse me. The sword and the famine and the noisome beast and the pestilence is cut off from it, man and beast. Listen to this. Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Who are these sons and daughters? That's the remnant. This the Israelites, the elect. Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and you shall see their way and their doings, and ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you when you see their ways and their doings, and ye shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, saith the Lord power. How do we know this is an end time prophecy? If you go up here to verse Ezekiel 14 and 10, it says, and they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity, and the punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeketh unto him, that the house of Israel may go no more astray from me, neither be polluted any more with all their transgressions, but that they may be my people, and I be their God, saith the Lord power. When is it where the Israelites are not going to be polluted anymore with their transgressions? That's in the kingdom of heaven only. So we know this is the end time prophecy dealing with verses 13 on down. Right? We know that for a fact. So Job was not an Edomite. And further, when you look at the term remnant, what it talked about, this is Isaiah 1 verse 9. Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. It's talking to the Israelites, see? The daughter of Zion. So, what's being said is, though my people going to be pretty messed up like Sodom and Gomorrah was, there's going to be a remnant. If you go here to Romans 11, in verse 5, it says, even so then, at this present time also, there is a remnant according to the election of grace. The grace only falls on the Israelites. The remnant is only from the house of Israel. The elect is only from the Israelites. And Job is a part of that elect. He's called a brother, right? He's called brethren. He's also called a member of the remnant. And if by grace, then it is no more of works. Otherwise, grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then is it no more grace. Otherwise, work is no more work. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. See? So Job is 100% Israelite. And for the final scripture on the remnant, Isaiah 10 and 20, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return. Now, in Ezekiel it said, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, he's going to bring back a remnant of both sons and daughters. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. For the Lord power of hosts shall make a consumption even determined in the midst of all the land. So there you go. There's no way possible Job was a pale face. Job was not an Edomite. All praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.